All right. Hi, everybody. Yay, it's been a little bit since I've been live in the group, so I thought it was time. And hi, I just wanted to say hello. But we have some serious stuff to talk about today, okay? Some serious things, some serious topics have been coming up for some of the people in and around my life, some of my clients, some of my besties, best guys, best girls, and it's just like this topic keeps coming up. So I thought, hey, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what it is that we want out of our relationships, what it is that we want out of sex, what it is that we want out of intimacy, what that means, what that looks like for all of us, and essentially how your choices in who you engage with, either men or women, affect you and what to do about it, right? So whether you've fallen for a fuckboy or a fuckgirl, right? Or you're pining for your friends with benefits, or you're still sleeping with your ex, this is for you. Because these are all things that, can become really problematic. And why? Feelings. That's why. Feelings. Feelings are inevitable. When you start having sex with somebody, you can do everything that you want, but feelings are inevitable. It's just part of it, right? So you can pretend to be this cold-hearted human that can hold off for a little bit of time, but in reality, you're not that cold. You know it. You know feelings are a real thing. So First of all, let's identify just some some key details, okay? So first of all, what is a fuckboy? Good question. I'm glad you asked. So a fuckboy, if you haven't Googled it, and feel free to Google it because it's kind of fun, is a man or woman, because there's lots of fuck girls out there. I'm just saying. Okay? A man or woman who doesn't respect you. They don't respect you. They don't really want a relationship with you, but they tend to need you all the time, right? They're pretty shallow. They're kind of self-absorbed. And, they kind of just they put themselves first above anything that you do or anything else that's important in their lives. So that's essentially what a fuckboy is. So, the definition is pretty broad these days, and a lot of people are using it for a lot of different applications, but that's generally what it is. You know a fuckboy when you meet one, right? In the 90s, it was the guys with the multiple popped collars. In the 80s, it was guys with perms, and in the 2000s, it's I don't even know. I don't know, but you know who they are. You know who they are. You know what they look like, and you know what they mean. So, fuckboys, we know what those are. Okay, second question. Do friends with benefit relationships, friends with benefit situationships turn into relationships? And the answer to that is sometimes. I'm not going to hate on friends with benefits relationships. I love friends with benefits relationships. I have had some friends with benefits relationships that have been very fruitful in my life. They're really great, and I appreciate each and every one of you. However, one of the problems that we find is that we're settling sometimes in these friends with benefits relationship. So we try to be these the cool girl, I just want to have sex with my friend, and it's fine, and don't worry, Carlen, I can just have sex, it's totally fine. Yeah, okay. You can have sex once, you can have sex twice, you can even have sex maybe for an extended short period of time. However, the feelings will kick in. I know the feelings will kick in because we've all been there, that the feelings kick in. Even if the person that you are having sex with you're not particularly attracted to, or you don't really like them, or the sex really isn't that good, but it feels good to feel good. It feels good to feel appreciated and loved and be touched and feel pleasure. It feels good. So we find ourselves in these situations where we're falling for our friends with benefits. Now, some friends with benefits, though, do turn into really nice, long-term relationships. It happened to me. I had a friends with benefits that turned into one of the great loves of my life, and very thankful for that relationship. But that took a long time and some work to get to that point. So I get it. It can happen, but I don't want you like kind of putting all your eggs in this one basket that like this fairy tale like relationship thing is going to happen. And everybody is just going to be, you know, like just falling in love with each other. Oh, I'll just have sex with him until he falls in love with me. That doesn't necessarily happen. Now, here's the thing though, millennial dating, not in terms of like being a millennial, but like at this time, you know, this age, so many people don't want to commit. It's like this weird thing. Like we're always like looking for the next thing. We're always looking for like the next exciting thing. You know, our attention spans are down to like 140 characters at this point, and things are just being snapped, and like it's so much fun, but it's leading to this like commitment crisis. Because we're all so afraid to like attach ourselves to something, because what if something else really awesome comes by, right? So why would I bother to honor my feelings, to honor how it is that I'm feeling, that I'm knowing, that I'm enjoying with somebody? Why would I bother to even investigate that? Because I'm always sitting on the edge and waiting for something else to happen and something else to come by, looking for the better offer. So that seems to be what the dating world is about right now. I don't know. It's a little bit of a nightmare, but we're navigating through it. I'm sticking with you. I'm totally sticking with you. So we define what a fuckboy is. Do friends with benefits situationships and relationships turn into actual loves and real relationships? Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. But you have to decide whether or not, you know, what you're willing to kind of give up to see, to fulfill that kind of fantasy, that dream. Secondly, and I'm going to be serious, and I'm going to be honest about this, and I really hope that somebody's fucking listening when I say this, because oh my God, okay? Because I have had this conversation over and over and over again. Number one rule, whether you want this to work out or not for you, the number one rule is to stop sleeping with your ex. Stop sleeping with your ex. So just stop doing it. It's not good for you. It's not good for them. It makes everything really, really complicated. And it's kind of like, you know, you're being treated as an option at that point, or you're treating them as an option at that point. Because if the relationship was supposed to work out, it would have worked out, at least at that time. And if you broke up, it's because one or both of you have some real shit that you kind of have to deal with, right? That you kind of have to grow through a little bit. And then maybe you can come back together. However, right now, not the good time or the best time to be doing that. And I get it. You want to get the D or the V. I get it. It feels really, really good. But find a new friends with benefits, or start masturbating a lot more, or something. Stop sleeping with your ex. I'm serious. Stop sleeping with your ex. It's not good. It makes you... Anyways, I don't know. It's just like, it's, you know, if it just creates the opportunity for you to be an option. And to be honest with you, I just don't like putting myself in a position where I'm an option. I put myself in a position where I'm the number one choice. So that is how I roll, and that is how this goddess life rolls. So this is what I want you to start considering. So when we're trying to navigate through these choices in, you know, who we're going to have sex with, you know, men or women, how we're going to share intimacy, dating, all of that kind of stuff. What is the impact? What is the impact of, like, you know, hanging on to a fuckboy relationship? What is the impact of, like, hanging on to or being with, you know, friends with benefits? Or what is the impact of continuing to sleep with your ex? Okay? Number one, the first impact is it leaves you cloudy in your cabeza. Okay? It leaves you cloudy and confused, and then you don't know what's up, you don't know what's down, you're not focused on your shit, and it leaves you like confused all the time, right? I don't know about you, but I don't have time to be confused about things because I got shit to do, right? So that's the number one thing that happens when you're engaging in those types of relationships. Number two, it gets you spending money on silly things, right? So it's so funny because you either start spending money on things that you don't need, right? Or you start spending money on things for them that they don't deserve. Let's be honest, right? Because you put in all this effort because you're a kind, caring, wonderful human, and you want to, you want to just give your love to somebody, but then you're spending all this money on someone that doesn't deserve it, right? It's literally like giving a treat to a puppy that has shit all over your house and saying, "Oh, good boy, that was so good, right? Thank you for shitting all over my house. Here's a treat." No, enough of that. Third impact that it has on you. It has you fluctuating in your moods. So you're like experiencing these really high highs and then these really low lows because like you're waiting for them to text you. You're waiting for them to talk back to you. You're waiting for them to snap you. You're waiting for them to like your Instagram photo. You're waiting for them to do all this stuff. So your moods are like up, down, up, down, up, down, all around, all the time, right? And it's just not cool, right? Because you, like I said, you get cloudy in your cabeza, you start spending money on silly things, and then, you're just like fucking moody all the time, and it drives people crazy. It drives you crazy, right? I already got my period to deal with once a month that's going to impact my hormones and my mood levels. I don't need another human to be doing that too. Number 4, another negative impact that it has on your life is you stop self-pleasuring. You stop self-pleasuring and you stop masturbating because you're saving it. And like some of you are like, really? And I'm like, yeah, no, legit. Like I know men and women who like, when they get hung up on these people in their lives, when they get hung up on their exes or these friends with benefits or these fuck people, right? They stop masturbating, they stop self-pleasuring, they stop almost kind of self-loving because they're saving it to share with this human who really kind of hasn't done a lot of work to deserve all that magic. I mean, like let's be honest about that, right? And then what happens is that like you get grouchy. You get grouchy. When you haven't had dick in a while, you get grouchy. When you haven't had the V in a while, you get grouchy. Let's just be honest about how that is. That goes back to point number 3 about the fluctuating moods, right? So then point number 5, another negative impact that it has on you is you stop focusing and prioritizing your own shit. It's exactly what happens. Exactly what happens. You stop focusing on your biz goals, your brow goals. You're being present while at parties. It literally becomes a legitimate nightmare. You stop being and prioritizing the things that are actually important to you in your life. And that's what starts to happen. And, it's really not fair and it's really not lovely. And it doesn't feel good because, girl, you got shit to do. You got goals to get through, right? So those are the top 5 negative impacts that being in those types of relationships or, kind of engaging in those relationships, if you're not careful, could have on you. So what do you do about it? Carlen, what are you going to do about it? What, am I just going to be like a negative Nancy the whole time? No, I'm not going to be a negative Nancy the whole time. I am going to give you some positive and some light to shine down on your relationships. So what to do? First of all, number 1, know your standards. Know your standards and how high and how level and what your expectations are in a relationship. If you are going to be having sex with a friend with benefits, first of all, I applaud you. Get it, girl, get it, girl, get it, girl, right? However, know your expectations and be clear about what that relationship is, not only to the human that you're engaging with, but to yourself. Okay? You're not engaging in a friends with benefits relationship to find the love of your life. You're engaging in that relationship because you want to have some orgasms with a really awesome human. And that's okay. That's really okay. Like I said, get yours, girl, right? But just be aware as to what that relationship is actually about. Be honest with yourself and with the other human. Keep your standards high and your expectations high, right? And be honest about what that is all about and express that to them because they need to hear it. They need to hear it, and you need to be able to negotiate what that relationship is about, right? So knowing what it is that you want right now, how much energy you are willing to put into something, and to understand that you're not settling. right? So don't settle. If this is like you just settling for some D, I mean, like, you know, lonely Friday nights happen, but don't just settle because that's what you think you are worth, is to be someone else's second option, to be someone else's late night text all the time, right? You are worth so much more than that. Now, those things are fun and those things are really, really great. But if that's all that's kind of, you know, getting across to you, then potentially you might have to start evaluating and reevaluating your standards and your expectations for yourself and your worth in your relationships. All right, number 2. If you actually do have a crush on a beautiful human, because they're so wonderful, I love crushes, put it out there, be clear, but then leave it alone. Put it out there, be clear, and then leave it alone. So send them the one text message or like have a face-to-face conversation with them and be like, hey, listen, I think you're kind of cool. I think you think I'm kind of cool. And I think this could be kind of cool together. However, this is what I want. I don't want to just have sex with you, or, you know, I want to just like hang out and like go on dates and like see what happens. Or, you know, this is what I'm worth. Like, I'm worthy of being able to have some attention being paid to, and to be called and to be text back, you know, not in 48 hours. Because let's be honest, people who are like, I look at my phone all the time. There's a difference between like being someone who's really, really, you know, who's really busy and like is doing events and all that time. And then when people say, I didn't look at my phone in like 2 days. Really? Really? Not true. Not true. Ghosting is a real thing. Ghosting is a real thing. But here's the other thing, because sometimes ghosting is not just what that's about. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes ghosting can be a little bit about somebody's being a fuckboy, but we let that happen. We let them in, right? We totally did. We let them in. So then when it turns out to not be a good thing, we can't be mad at them, because that's the expectation, that's the standard that we allowed someone to come into our lives with, right? Because point number 3 is you need to let them show up for you, right? Give them space and do you, girl. Do you, right? A human wants to feel empowered in their choices, right? Everybody wants to feel powerful and empowered in their choices. But if you keep pushing, and kind of, you know, nagging at instead of showing up or showing up for yourself, people will feel pressure to perform and they'll either fight or flight the fuck out. That's essentially how that is, right? So if you can know your standards and know your expectations, then you can be clear and communicate those clearly, right? And say, hey, look, this is kind of what I'm down for, right? And then negotiate from there. Then allow them space to show up, right? Allow them space to kind of meet you on your level, because you deserve that, girl. You deserve for someone to come and meet you on your level. And if you know your standards and you've been clear about what it is that you want, it's an opportunity for them to respond to you. And whether or not they choose to will determine how worthy it is that they think you are. I'm just going to be honest about that. Right? Because you've put the message out there, you've been clear, but you can't force someone to understand a message that they aren't ready for. Let me say that again. You've put the message out there, you've been clear, but you cannot force someone to understand a message that they aren't ready for. So you might have a super big crush on someone. You might be having this really great intimate relationship with this human. You may, be having this great time with this awesome person and this friends with benefits, and it's all really fun, and you're doing adventures and you're doing all of that stuff, and then, and then you finally communicate that you want something more. You got to give them the space to respond to it. and not take it personally or as personal when they actually do need to take some time to figure it out. Because some people need to go through some stuff in order to grow through some stuff, right? So that's kind of how that happens, right? Because like, listen, sister, listen. You have got a lot to handle right now, right? We've all got a lot to handle right now. You're either growing your biz, your bank account, your brows, your butt, or your self-love. You got a lot of things to handle right now. So if you're putting all your eggs in the basket with your fuckboy, if you're putting up with, the way that they're treating you and the garbage way that they're talking to you, and you're saying, "Oh no, it's fine. He's funny. It's fine." Okay. First of all, no. Second of all, if you're having sex with someone in a friends with benefits relationship and you're only having sex with them with the wish that you want it to turn into a relationship, it's also probably not going to end very, very well or very easily, and it's not going to be very good. And if you're still sleeping with your ex, you're not ready for the next. Straight up, because you're just sitting in that old shit storm that you used to be in, right? If you're still sleeping with your ex, you're not ready for the next. I know some of you are watching, and I know some of you are doing some of these things. I know some of you who I love so very much are putting up with some of the garbage that some people are throwing at you, and you're allowing yourself to put up with lowering your standards and your expectations because you think that you're going to be lonely or alone or I don't know, something in your life. But you're not. You're really not, my love. You're really, really not, because you are so amazing and you're so incredible. But you really need to start believing it. You really need to start just like sinking into the goddess self, or the goddess self that you are, and the awesomeness that you are. Because you have so much to give to somebody. But if you don't understand what that is, if you can't see how awesome you are, how do you expect someone else to rise to the occasion to understand that for you? Because it's not fair. It really is not fair. I picked 2 cards for today. And from my favorite deck. And you guys know that sometimes when I do these videos, I like to pick cards. So I did that today as well. So from the Goddess Guidance deck from Doreen Virtue, and I love. And the 2 cards that flew out when I did this was Abundantia, prosperity. And this is a reminder that the universe is pouring its abundance out to you. So be open to receiving. All of these tips, this whole conversation that we're having right now is about the idea of receiving, of allowing, and of having patience. Because Amy here is reminding you to take a leap of faith. And the leap of faith is to take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. And she's reminding you to have some patience, that you don't have to hold on to those people who don't fulfill you. You don't have to hold on to those relationships in your life that don't fulfill you, that don't make you feel good, because you think that nothing else better is going to come your way. Well, my darling, it is. It's going to come your way. It's going to be amazing and incredible and so loving. But you need to believe it. You need to have a little bit of faith in yourself and in the love that you know you deserve before you can move forward. So I love you. There's my tips for the day. Mwah. Stay tuned. I'm going to be posting a little Instagram of funny this afternoon, so I hope you like it. Have the best day. Love you.